This video is one where you might want to be in the correct headspace when you go in. I'm going to talk about some very dark concepts. So if you're not ready for that, come back another time. Also, maybe push through me saying some really weird things because I have to make a point. I'm making a point. I swear. Ava is one of my favorite pieces of media. But when I say that to some people, they kind of just shrug. They either say it's not their thing, they don't like mecha, or it's just okay, but it kind of falls apart. The thing is, mecha is a genre that is not about robots. The robots are kind of just eye candy to keep you focused, so they can get to the real thing, the people. And Arno obviously agrees with this. Arno was simply an otaku that wanted to make cool things, share things with the world. But for 4 years, Arno was paralysed, in a pit of depression. He ran from the world, retreating to a world that offered him no hope. Until one thing entered his mind.
I mustn't run away. I mustn't run away. I mustn't run away. I mustn't run away. I mustn't run away!
He decided then that if he can't make anything, if this feeling was stalling him, then he would make that the creation itself. The Ava manga makes it very clear what a lot of the intentions were in the creation of the series. How Arno wished to convey these feelings he was experiencing at the time. The second impact killed half the population of the Earth. It destroyed the Southern Hemisphere. Yet humanity still rebuilt. People moved on, went back to their daily lives. But they knew something was still coming. They just didn't know when. The iconography of Ava is very rooted in Christianity. Humans tried to challenge the will of God, only for God to strike back. Humans are not spawn of Eve, but spawn of Lilith. Now God sends his servants, angels. Humans have no hope. They were abandoned people from their creation, and they have no path out of it. They're simply waiting for it to end. This was the world that Shinji, Asuka, and Rei were born in. They don't know anything else. But that being said, let's not get too deep into symbolism. Arnold's come out and said that the Christian stuff was kind of just cool shit that he liked, but it's also to me just a very easy shorthand to quickly give you a vibe. A world where the characters feel abandoned by it all, isolated, alone, with little vision of what is ahead of them. Ava asks, what do you do with that feeling? How do you move on? Do you deserve to feel the way that you do? Is it some atonement? There are no good people in the story of Ava, but it could also be said that there's no real good people in reality. We all have holes that we have in us, some dissatisfaction or inadequacy. You may try to fill it, but it will never truly go away. You may try to ignore it, but that simply makes it bigger. Gendo fixates on his lack of direction after his wife dies. He had a larger goal with her, but is too depressed to see it through. Perhaps it reminds him of Yui too much. He decides on a plan that is selfish, to challenge the gods again, go back to how things were at the start, as it's the only way forward that he thinks is correct. He is doing it for everyone, to remove their pain, but he never asks them if they're okay with it.
Why? Why did you have to call me now, Father?
Because I have a use for you.
Ritsuko and her mother feel a strong affection for Gendo, but don't want to think about the obvious truth that he's simply using them as a replacement for Yui. They want to help Gendo, but have such a fragile connection to him that they lash out at anyone else they deem could replace them.
You're replaceable too, did you know that, Ray? You're just as replaceable as me!
Ritsuko resents herself as a woman. She resents that she has this aspect to her, that drives her. Misato feels survivor's guilt for how her father died to save her. She hates him. She was left alone with a mother that was always sad. Her father abandoned her, but she can't hate him because he saved her. The only male figure she had in her life until she became an adult was him, so her relationship with guys are pretty warped. She doesn't want to be her mother, she wants to be happy, so she just falls into whatever is easiest. She'll latch on to whatever she can get her hands on. Kaji is just what she found first. She feels ashamed that she's like this, but it's the only way she knows how to cope. She wants the world to just ignore this part of her.
No! Don't show Shinji this! I don't want him to see that side of me!
Rei is a generic yandere, but the extreme of it. She lacks any sense of identity, herself and her clones being interchangeable from each other. She feels she exists for no reason.
I'm afraid. Why is that? Because your current self will have never existed. No, I'm not. I want to return to nothing.
Asuka, on the other hand, is an extreme tsundere, but this just causes her to push everyone away. She was abandoned by the people that she needed. She wants to be recognised, cared for, admired, so does what she thinks will get her that. She pilots an Ava simply for attention. She puts up a mask to perform to people what she thinks they want, never letting them actually see the true her. When people begin to see what's underneath, the part of herself that she finds ugly, she rejects them. She hasn't been able to rely on others in her childhood. They shunned her, so she tries to do it all by herself. But all it does in pushing others away is make them more bitter. She eventually, feeling she has nothing to live for, that she could not get the validation she wants.
You don't do anything! You won't help me! You won't even hold me! You're no one! No one! No one!
Does the only thing that she thinks will prove that she does exist. That people see her. Shinji never felt love from his father, and represses memories of his mother as they're too painful. He runs from the truth. He runs from pain. He runs from people as he doesn't want to deal with them. He runs from his desire to impress others. He doesn't want to admit to something so petty. He runs from struggles as he doesn't want to have to put the effort in. He runs even from the idea that he is running, deluding himself into thinking that what he is doing is facing the issue, when he's just burying it. The early story is a lot of setup of Shinji's state of mind and motivations. He struggles to find himself in his masculinity, his place in the world, and his connection to his father. But then it takes a back seat, as if he made some temporary cover for it, a shield to protect him from actually addressing his issues. It rears its head at times, but it seems like Shinji in the story simply ignores his flaws.
They respect me when I pilot the Eva. They all respect me. They respect this totally worthless being. They all tell me pilot it, so I'll prove to my father that I'm worth something.
All the characters have flaws, issues they should face, but they lack the awareness of others and themselves. They lack the clarity to understand how to fix those flaws. They can find in others not to become stronger, but simply to pave over those insecurities. They are weak. They don't want to be weak, but they just wish it would magically go away. They just want to be normal. There is something I've been dancing around a lot in this that I didn't want to say. The reason that Eva resonates with me, why I love it to its core, is because it's one of the only pieces of media I've ever really watched that's truly spoken to me. I did present some toxic concepts, not because I believe them, but because I know those are the intended thoughts. Thoughts the characters have felt, and Arno as well. I don't think I'm a good person. I struggle with finding a direction in life. I resent parts of myself. I don't want to be sad anymore. I feel unworthy of what I have. I want to disappear, but I don't want to hurt others in that. I want validation and attention, but I fear the pain of rejection. So I run from it all. Depression is a horrible thing. It isolates you. People try to reach out, but you can't bring yourself to respond. You don't want to face it. You feel you'll just drag them down. So you just fall deeper and deeper. People stop calling. They stop asking how you are. They stop putting effort in. Because to them, you're the one that isn't reciprocating. And you start to believe that you don't really have a reason to be distant. Depression makes you feel like that. But that isn't you saying that. Ava is a reflection of me, as it's a reflection of Arno. I shouldn't presume something so lofty, but I still will. We should try to understand each other more. I feel I'm the worst person ever, simply because I understand myself the best. Many times while I was watching Ava, the characters said things I've thought in the past. Statements where it wasn't them talking, it was something else. Fear, anger, regret.
But you're lying.
It's true, I am happy. I'm not. This isn't the happiness I want.
What's wrong with running away from reality if it sucks?
I understand exactly what they're going through, since I struggle with that too. Instrumentality is the solution to this, an opportunity to understand yourself and others better. I do think there's some misunderstanding of what instrumentality is. For a lot of the story, it's framed as some big bad evil plan to destroy the world and kill humanity, to remove all weakness, but people weren't given a choice in it, so it's something to fear. But I think this is just a matter of perspective. Perspective is actually a pretty big aspect of Ava. Promotional materials reference 2 different translations of the Bible. The English name is not a literal translation of the Japanese, the translation more reading as New Genesis of the Gospel. The angels in the series in Japanese are called Shito, which is a lot closer to apostle than angel. The angels and humans don't understand each other throughout. The humans don't even understand each other. Life is just a matter of perspective, so it matters a lot how you see things, how you see others, how you see reality, how you see yourself. The fear in instrumentality is not the prospect of the death of the self, but the fact that you must face something you can't run from, it makes you acknowledge how you see yourself and how others see you. You fear the connection it forces you to make, the pain you'll suffer in it. It's simply a metaphor for meaningful connection, and the baggage that comes with. It's easy to cut yourself off, but also easy to write people off and not try to understand what they're going through. But don't let that win. Overcome that. Don't retreat to safety. Challenge yourself. Achieve what you want to in the face of adversity. Rely on others if you need to. Stumble, because life is hard. It can feel too hard to continue, but you have to. It being hard is just part of it. It will get easier, but I promise. But you can't live by yourself either. You can't do this alone. There's no point living if there's no one to live with. You're just existing then. So please, don't try to hold it in, or do it all by yourself. That isn't strength. It takes strength to ask for help. And it's okay to feel how you feel. I might feel that I'm a bad person. I've done and said horrible things. To people that I care about. To people that didn't deserve it. But I grew from it. I recognized I didn't want to be that. Thank you for what you've all done for me. The advice you offer. The moments of joy from bad jokes that have no right to be as funny as they are. The reassurance that I do matter. But most importantly, the support that everyone around me gives.
I want to continue existing in this world. My life is worth living here.
I don't know what will happen to you. I don't know where life will take you. Because I don't know where life is taking me. I feel I am being irresponsible in this. Selfish in pushing these feelings onto others. But it's only natural I should reflect myself in my work. And my work reflect the world. As I and it exist within that world. I take a risk in this, that I fail to convey what I want to. It's simply an imitation. But that's all I can do for now. All I can explain. I just hope the original, my intention, exists within.